What's good? It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with the Box Clinic and more. Merry Christmas once again. Trying to get a couple early videos in just in case I don't have time to get some videos in tomorrow. And I'm just watching this Ahmad Rashad, Michael Jordan thing, and a lot of questions about Jordan, been arose or has risen. And, a lot of people, this generation, don't remember or didn't live through it or, didn't care about basketball because they were too young. And, by the time Jordan was on the back half of his three-peat, I was very into basketball. Basketball was life. The first three, the Lakers, the Trailblazers, I think it was the Suns, I believe. Them three was a little bit murky. But the back half of the Utahs and I think Supersonics, whatever, the back half there, I kind of remember, him going through those trials and tribulations, whatever. I'm getting through those, 2 3-peats. And I had a friend who thought that he had won 6 straight. I'm telling him we arguing. I said no. I argued with several people about that. I said no. I said I remember. He retired. He came back. They lost to Orlando in the Eastern Conference Finals. He wasn't all the way back, but that was the 4-5 Jordan. Next year they came back and wiped the floor in Orlando. So, but man, this dude was the truth. People, want to put Kobe, LeBron in the same class as him. It was nobody in the same class as Michael Jordan, in my opinion. You could say Oscar Robertson. Dr. J was one of the all-time greats to get left out of a lot of people's top 10. But Jordan actually played in a prominent era where the athletes were physically dominant and the skill level was higher than it is now. The players back in the day were better players, skill for skill. They didn't rely on the jump shot or they didn't rely on their physical ability that much. They did to a certain extent, but they had physical skills. They had a skill set to go with their physical skills. And the competition was harder. I had people say, well, Jordan ain't never had to play nobody. That's a stereotypical statement right there. Because his first championship, he had to go through the bad boys, and it took him years to get through them. And I don't see a lot of players that can took the beating that he took versus the bad boys when the rules was at their most harshest. LeBron had to switch teams because he couldn't get past old Paul Pierce, Ray Allen and KG, where, Michael had to deal with. Cleveland was a good team. The Boston Celtics was the most premier dominant team. He had to wade through them. Had to go through the bad boy Pistons. That was a dominant team. And then in the 90s, people said, oh, he didn't play no. The Portland team was good, was great. The Laker team still was good. They had some juice left, but that was their first one getting over the hill. The Phoenix Suns team was excellent. Tom Chambers, Dan Marley, Charles Barkley, KJ, Sabalas had a good team. The Sonics team was good as hell too. With Gary Payton, he was kind of locking up Jordan a little bit. Kemp, Dallas Shrimp. I mean, they had a good squad as well. Utah was a great squad. With Stockton and Malone, they thought it was their time. But point I'm trying to make is this. Have to see it for yourself, man. Just because, you see LeBron, oh, he lost to San Antonio. They was a great team. San Antonio was a good team. But the Spurs teams, the first one, and the second Spurs he lost with Miami, the first one he lost with Cleveland, I'm not sure they beat the Phoenix Suns. I'm not sure they beat the Utah Jazz in a 7-game series. It's all hypothetical, but I'm not sure. That's just my opinion right there. I'm not sure they beat some of those teams they ran up against, the Supersonics, the Jazz, the Suns. Going through the bad boys. There was bad boys in the Celtics back in the 80s. LeBron never would have made it through that. Not even with Miami, it would have been tough. Especially with the rules changed. And Jordan did cry to get the rules changed. Don't get me twisted. And David Stern changed the rules because the Pistons was too physical. Bird never cried about it being physical, neither did Magic, But, Jordan took the league that Magic and Bird put on a pedestal and had it going up. It was a league that didn't have all that TV time that it has now. And Jordan took it to another stratosphere. You know what I'm saying? And what people don't know is Jordan in 88 won the scoring title, the All-Star Game MVP, the Slam Dunk Contest, Defensive Player of the Year, first team all defense, I said the MVP, scoring title. I mean, he won all that Slam Dunk Championship in 1 year in 1988, the 87-88 season. See how some of the selective, memories that some of these guys like Skip Bayless, I'm not blaming him, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp have, and trying to compare him to his airness. You know, it was not a game with Jordan, man. It was not a game. I used to root against him all the time, you know, versus the Indiana Pacers. For whatever reason, when I was younger, whatever, I was at 8, 9, 10 years old, when I really was in the ball, wasn't a normal kid. Reggie Miller was my favorite player. You know, and those Bulls, those Pacers series was epic. Bulls and Knicks series, epic. Very epic. And people who remember those series know what I'm talking about. Reggie hit the game winner, but somehow Jordan always found the way to win. And his will to win and his will not to lose, you know, his fear of failure, made him better than everybody else. Now, Kobe tried to emulate that, and that's why a lot of people that like Kobe, because he would will his way to win. You know, even when Kobe lost, he'd go down gunning. You know, Jordan was from an assassin material. LeBron, he's not from that same assassin material. You know, he's a different type of player. And people compare him to Magic, but Magic was a killer when it was game time, though. Magic wasn't a passive, clutch player. Magic hit the game-winning shot as a rookie playing a center for the first time in the NBA because Kareem was hurt. Magic was a killer, too. You know, Bird was a killer. You know, and a lot of people don't pay homage to these guys. Oh, he wasn't that fast. He wasn't that quick. When you have skills, you can be crafty. You can beat people, you know. But this dude, Jordan, the truth. You know, I hated Jordan. I picked Seattle. I picked the Jazz twice over him. You know, whoever it was, I picked him over Jordan. I couldn't stand Jordan. But Jordan was the absolute truth. You talking about the mid-range jumper. You know, people say, oh, LeBron, the best I've ever seen go to the hole. Are you serious? The way MJ can finish at the hole with ferocity and with elegance in the air and how you finessed at the rim, he can power through you. You know, the crossover. LeBron ain't got no crossover like Jordan. You know, the fadeaway jumper, the go-to post move. I mean, he had some iconic moments. What about the shoulder shrug when he hung in the air versus Portland? You know? Epic. And to me, he didn't always have the best team around him. I mean, Scotty was Scotty. I think Scotty was the best all-around defender of all time. And Jordan was another great top 5, top 10 defender of all time. And that get lost in the shuffle. You talking about second scoring options? You know, until they got, you know, cool coach Rodman, you know, BJ hit his shot, not Scott Skiles, but Steve Kerr and John Paxson, they all played their roles. It was a perfect mesh, you know, but he never had another Dwayne Wade with him. He never had a big guy like Chris Bosh with him. He never had a big like Kevin Love with him. You know, Dwayne Wade was a bona fide scorer. Scotty was all around. You know, he wasn't the greatest jump shooter. He wasn't the greatest scorer. But Scotty was an all-around player. You know, Dwayne was a bona fide straight-up scorer. Kyrie was a straight-up scorer. You know, Jordan ain't never had that. You know, he had Craig Hodges at the end of his career. But, you know, ain't no excuses. You know, if you said the Golden State Warriors team from last year versus Jordan team, that'd be tough, man. Because this is some debatable matchups between who would have won them and Houston. You know, when he retired, the 2 Houston teams that stole the championship, you know, it was some debate about that, you know. But, Jordan, man, I can't explain it, man. Like, for the older guys who lived through it, man, who know what I'm talking about, he was larger than life in this basketball game. And he took basketball from where Bird and Magic took it from the bottom of the gutter and rose it to a global sport. And basketball is global because of Jordan. And for people who try to compare Jordan to LeBron, you know, what you seeing from LeBron, that's him. It's good. You know, but what I seen from Jordan, I never seen anybody come close to that other than Kobe from, you know, emulating him. But it'll never be another Jordan. You know, it'll never be nobody that had the fundamentals Jordan had. You know, the post game, defensive player. I told you guys, he was all defensive player, first team like 10, 12, 13 times in his career. Defensive Player of the Year. All that in 1 year. MVP. All-Star Game MVP. League MVP. Slam Dunk Champion. Scoring Champion. First Team NBA. First All-Team Defense NBA. And this is what they don't be telling y'all on ESPN and Fox. They don't tell y'all the true facts, and I'm telling you guys, go back and watch the film. Young Jordan dropping 60-something on Bird in the Celtics. That was unheard of going to the Boston Garden where it wasn't no air. LeBron fell out when there wasn't no air conditioning in San Antonio. Jordan dropped 60. I'm trying to tell y'all, dog. There's no comparison to him, man. This dude was truly great, and I hated him. But he respected